Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to this edition of the news in English. My name is Serish Nhori. We'll begin with the headlines. Rwanda's Ministry of Local Government has announced that up to 296 billion Rwandan francs will be needed to repair infrastructure in the country damaged by last month's floods and landslides. Rwanda's Ministry of Infrastructure has announced that starting on Friday, petrol and diesel prices in the country will reduce. Global music powerhouse and Afro music tastemaker Trace is to mark its 20th anniversary with the launch of the Trace Awards and Festival in Kigali come October. Now the details. Thank you again for taking the time to join us. I'll be sitting in for Sam and Martina. Now, as we begin this edition of the news, let us inform you that on Thursday afternoon in Amman, President Paul Kagame and the First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, joined global leaders for the wedding of Jordanian Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II and Rawa Al Saif. That began with the signing ceremony at the Zara Palace and was followed by an evening reception and dinner. That's dinner at Al Husseini Palace. Moving on to other stories, the Ministry of Local Government has announced that 296 billion Rwandan francs will be needed to rebuild sustainably the disaster-hit infrastructure in the northern and western provinces of this country. We have the details with Adams Kwizera.
Last month, Rwanda faced disasters that hit the northern, western, and southern provinces. In addition to the loss of people's lives, the infrastructure and properties of the citizens were also destructed. Almost 20,000 people who were accommodated in 3 campsites at the beginning. Only about 7,600 of them are the only who are left in the 25 sites. The minister in charge of the emergency management, Kaisire Mahali Solange, noted that 800 million has been collected to support those who have been affected by the disasters.
We need that those people who are living in various camps should get accommodated. That within few days, as I said in the introduction, that we have been assessing to know the number of people who are remaining in the camps in order to know how we can solve some of their issues as we are building houses for them, because we do not want them to remain at sites. But I can't really specify the right, but we will keep making assessments on the capacity of a certain city or district on the way they can absorb these people. And we will also have to make sure that after leaving the campsites, they will not return to those risky zones.
The analysis demonstrates that the destructed properties due to those disasters will have to be recovered urgently in medium and long-term period, where a total amount of 296 billion Rwandan francs are needed. In particular, the funds that will be used to build accommodations for the displaced people are almost estimated to be over 30 billion. The Minister of Local Government, Jean-Claude Musabyimana, pointed out that the country will do everything possible to fund the accommodations for the people that are not in the risky areas.
We
counted them all in order to recover and rebuild sustainably their houses as we help them to return to their houses urgently. And there will be the next move of building houses for those properties were swept away, and those houses will be built in safe areas. You can ask yourself if the government of Rwanda has the financial capacity to do that. And I think the government of Rwanda can't fail to have the financial capacity of helping its citizens. I think it can't happen at all. What I could say is that the government will collaborate with its citizens to make better things ahead. Together with our citizens, we cover them all as we pledged, and we will do it as well. Various institutions have emphasized that all categories of people staying in campsites are fully taken care of, including children, pregnant women, students, people with disabilities, elderly, and those with special diseases, where in general, care activities of these people who are displaced from their homes by disasters cost more than 100 million per day. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Now, starting on Friday, petrol and diesel prices at the pump here in Rwanda will reduce And the Minister of Infrastructure sat down with RBA's Jeanette Wabyeyi to explain that the reductions will take effect as a result, or rather to reflect a fall in global prices. Minister Ernest Sabimana announced that a litre of diesel will now cost 1,492 Rwandan francs, down from 1,518 Rwandan francs, meaning a reduction of 26 Rwandan francs, while petrol will now sell at 1,517 Rwandan francs instead of 1,528 Rwandan francs, a fall of 11 Rwandan francs per litre. The minister also noted that the reduction in the price of petroleum products should be reflected in the prices of many other commodities on the market, which tend to mimic each other because of the impact transportation costs can have on the selling prices of commodities in general. The Rwanda Information Society Authority has announced that by the end of 2024, all services provided in the public sector will be offered with the use of technology through cooperation with different partners. We have the details on that development with Shina Teta.
The Rwandan government's plan is to intensify the policy of promoting Rwanda's development based on technology, given that some of the government services are offered through Irembo, and some beneficiaries of this platform talk about the difference it has brought to their daily lives.
It has reduced the likelihood of a long queue, and it's also time-saving, although there are still some services that requires you to go to the sector offices. For me, it helps me to save time, which enables me to do other activities.
Besides all that, there are still some hindrances.
Some of the hindrances is the technical gap regarding the way the system is built and jams on the platforms for like 2 hours, which happens like once in a month. In order to overcome those challenges, we have renewed our system, complementing the Irembo Academy established to help citizens and the Irembo agents on how the system works.
Antoine Sebera, the Chief Innovation Officer at Rwanda Information Society Authority, says that together in cooperation with different partners, they are fastening means of adding all services to Irembo platform, given there are about 400 services not on the platform, and in belief this will be achieved in 2024.
We want service provision to reach to 100% and to require the use of advanced technology and cooperation with other companies to work with Irembo, and that gives us hope that we shall achieve that.
Irembo platform provides more than 100 services, giving a percentage of 58, and the goal is to increase this rate to 100% next year, 2024. Shina Teta, RTV News.
Now, the 2022 population and housing census here in Rwanda found that households with an individual that can access the internet are just 22.8%. Now, the Ministry of ICT and Innovation has stressed that measures are in place to reduce the cost of the internet here in Rwanda and increase efficiency and accessibility. We have more on that with Prince Manzi.
In a consultative meeting on ICT-related activities in Rwanda, senators in the Rwandan Parliament heard oral explanations of the Minister of ICT and Innovation and various heads of ICT entities. The discussed include what was achieved in this sector as well as challenges, including the high price of internet, that hinders implementation of various national programs, as explained by senators. Another concern is how are we preparing for the 5G connectivity, because we are in a competition with others and we should not be left behind. So what are the strategic approaches in place as we want to be on the forefront in this new connectivity? The Minister of ICT and Innovation, Paul Ngabire, tackles on the reasons behind the high internet price and measurements in place to solve this issue.
There are some challenges as telecommunication equipments require heavy forms of electricity, and here we say the price of the electricity as well as installations. What we are currently working on is the site sharing regulations, where telecommunication companies will have to share the infrastructures in a place as a way of reducing own installation that leads to setting up higher prices. This policy is already in place. We are also looking on how to negotiate on how to deduct the electricity price.
Currently in Rwanda, the internet penetration is on a 66% rate. Prince Manzi, RTV News.
The international entertainment television known as Trace, in collaboration with the Rwanda Development Board, has announced that through the Visit Rwanda campaign, a new award, that is, has been introduced that will take place here in Rwanda this year. Jessica Gasaro has the details.
In this discussion, attended by various organizations, especially those in the music industry and entertainment industry in general, they discussed with the representative of the international television known as Trace Africa, the CEO of RDB and other partners, in order to inform that Rwanda has a working relation with Trace. Rwandan artists and others who have something to do with music say that the fact that their country has welcomed this music television to work with Rwandans is a great opportunity, but there are other things they wish for. This is a big platform for us artists and a good opportunity that has found us here in our country. To have to host international award, we used to have our own, but not on the international level. This will be good for us because we will meet with the big artists, including those we look up to, and our music will get to be known on the African level.
Ngendeye ku byo numvise bavuze bizagirira umumaro munini cyane urugaga rwa muzika rw'u Rwanda.
According to what I heard, this is important to the Rwandan music industry, considering to what they told us, even though they didn't give us their numbers that will show us how this will go. So as their partners, we wish them luck, and as artists, all those practitioners of the industry will see how we can work together so that their plan can go well.
The CEO of Rwanda Convention Bureau, Janet Karimera, expressed that Rwanda as a country that provides opportunity for each Rwandan artist should make the most out of it, and they should understand that the relationship between Trace TV and the country as a whole should be productive beyond the borders of the African continent.
And you couldn't even see a Rwandan artist. But now these days you have Trace East Africa and you see Rwandan artists, you see some of my favorite artists who are also in the room right now, so I'm a bit starstruck a bit. But yeah, you see them and you're like, wow, that's where our music industry is going and that's where we've reached today. You know, I have some of our favorite MCs, our DJs, our event promoters here in the room today, and we're going to need all of you. And I think that's what Olivier was touching. When we started the partnership, that's where we started with. We wanted to talk to you. We wanted to hear what you wanted from this partnership. And that's why Visit Rwanda and the government of Rwanda really support this event.
Olivier Lauches, the CEO and founder of Trace Group, also said that it is time to remove the obstacles that hinders the development of Africa, especially in music.
So we are going to push the boundaries. We are going to do things that, you know, it's a competitive market awards. There are a lot of awards, so each award wants to be different, must be different. So we are going to bring a lot of creativity. We work with various teams from various countries, and it's very good also to put the people together because you got this collaborative approach. And when you work with collective intelligence, at the end of the day, it's really a produced magic.
In these discussions, the head of Trace also announced that they will meet with the Rwanda Broadcasting Agency in order to help those in the entertainment industry to achieve their dream. It was also announced that the Trace Award and Festival in Africa will be preceded by a 2-day festival from October 19th to 20th, 2023 at Kigali, and the main award ceremony will be held at BK Arena on October 21st, 2023. Jessica Gasaro, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, on World Milk Day, farmers here in Rwanda have requested the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources to provide more training for them in order to increase productivity in their sector. We have more on that with Shina Teta.
Agnes Mukanyirwansanga from Byumba sector in the district of Gicumbi, who is among individuals that were given cows by the government in 2003, says that the lessons she was given made her a modern breeder, being able to support her family, expanding the livestock farming base in such a way that her and members in a cooperative she leads get a sustainable milk production. For instance, I get 200,000 Rwandan francs and I'm able to pay school fees for my children and get fertilizers for my field. We cultivate and harvest. We sell our cows so as to increase the profit. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, the standard amount of milk consumed per Rwandan in a year has increased from 21 liters in 2006 to 75.3 liters in 2003. However, some individuals believe that there is still more to do in order for Rwanda to be on a sustainable milk production level. Agnes Mukangirwansanga, a farmer from Gicumbi sector, states that there is need for enhancement in application of policies in favor of the dairy cow's progress. If people are given all information about dairy farming, milk production would increase, as well as our market base. Also, veterinary doctors should practice effective animal insemination. The Director General of Animal Resources Development in the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Jean-Claude Ndorimana, says that the government will continue to support and facilitate farmers in expanding their activity and ensure citizens have access to milk on a stable price.
Efforts being applied in the enhancement of agriculture and livestock farming give us hope that in the next 3 years, we'll have a consumption of 125 liters of milk per Rwandan in a year.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources again encourages Rwandans to drink milk, focusing on young children that will be given milk at school, and the government is to cater for the expenses. The government of Rwanda also expects that in the next 3 years, each Rwandan will be in consumption of 125 liters of milk per year, as desired by the United Nations Department of Agriculture and Food for the people in the sub-Saharan region. Shinateta, RTV News.
That's the news, but stay with Rwanda Television because our programs will continue. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.